Gone are the days when a simple wrench, spanner, screwdriver were enough to get you by when working on cars. With more and more software-defined vehicles coming onto the roads, diagnostic tools are an essential part of every workshop's toolbox. They allow you to track electronic faults from start to finish and find those most complex of issues that are causing cars to stop working. But just how important are diagnostics going to be in the future of the aftermarket? And what do workshops need to know when it comes to using tools like these or having access to reliable diagnostics information?
Today's cars can have almost 100 ECUs and over a mile of wiring inside, not to mention all the various parts and components that make them up. This means that diagnostics is more and more like detective work, trying to find the right problem and solve it through a myriad of potential opportunities.
In today's car, there are thousands of potential malfunctions, from a small nip in the wire to a complete systems failure, making a diagnostic tool an essential part of the workshop. But what do you need to know to make sure that you're picking the correct tool for your business?
The first thing I would say about investing in diagnostic tools in the aftermarket is understanding your business needs. What kind of car park do you see? What do you struggle with? And then buy a product around that. There's quite a few different diagnostic products on the market, as I'm sure your listeners and viewers are aware. It's about understanding what is costing the independent garage, the time, the effort, the money, more importantly, that's being lost through lost diagnostic time, incorrectly fitted parts, and finding a solution that caters well for that. There is tools that are very cheap that can be bought off local websites. I'm sure we all know what I'm talking about, but there is also very in-depth diagnostic tools that we tend to find independent garages shy away from, even all the way up to using the OEM applications through the manufacturers themselves. It again comes back to what the individual business needs are. Do they see a lot of one brand? If they do, it's probably best to be looking at the OEM software. But do they see 40-20% other stuff as well? What do they're not going to go out and invest in that. So it is coming back to understand the car park that you need to repair and find solutions, because there's not one tool out there that does everything, unfortunately.
You don't need to have all of the expensive kit in your workshop, however, especially if you're a small business. There are other options, such as remote diagnostics. Units like this can plug into a vehicle and then be accessed by a team externally who can come together to chat you through what the vehicle is reading, the potential faults, and work with you on the potential fixes. It can save time, it can save effort, it can save training, and you get access to much more expertise than you may do on your own unit.
It offers them the ability to fix cars in their workshops without having to take it back to the main dealer, and it gets jobs done in a quick time, so it's reducing key-to-key times. It also enables them to have access to all the dealer tools as well within their own workshop through one interface. So effectively, it's going to cut down on their costs and reduce the need for taking cars at other places. The process is really simple. You plug it into the OBD port of a vehicle, you connect to a chat screen on there. Usually this takes around about sort of 30 seconds to do this. Once that's connected on there, you're onto one of the live dealer trained technicians within our office, and then you're chatting away to the technician. You don't need to be in the experience of how to use main dealer equipment. We do that for you. We take that pain away. It adds value to your existing team, because we've got all the training we need. All our technicians have been through all the manufacturer training on how to use the equipment. And that adds like another half a dozen technicians, say, to your current workshop.
A diagnostic tool is nothing without the correct data behind it. This can give a technician all the information they need to trace any potential fault.
I would say if you don't have the proper data, right, it's not only detective work, but it's a bit of like playing lottery, right? The newer the cars, the more technology within the cars, right? Need for recalibrations, multiple systems, electronic being included in the car, radar, sensors, and so on. The more crucial it becomes for any shop, right, to have the right data in place in order to be able to put a car in a state as it was before. Within proper data, a shop is not able to take on jobs, on repairs. They would be able to if they would have the data, right? So I think we always differentiate between the skill set within a shop. That's in most cases given, right? Shops have really good people, good employees. The challenge is to give them tools at hand. It's not only, diagnostic devices, not only normal tools, it's data. Data is a critical tool for every single shop to do the job right, and this is where we are supporting.
As diagnostics is a key part of workshop life, garages need to be making sure that they are charging the right amounts for it. Diagnostics is not something to be worried about. It should be something that is explained to customers as an essential part of making sure that a vehicle can be put back on the road. And for those who wonder about buying code readers and things off eBay, highlight the work, the effort that goes in, not just to plug in the tool in, but to then following the traces through to find the problem, no matter how remote that might be. It should be something that garages are proud to highlight as a part of the modern day aftermarket.
I think it's very, very important, to be honest, for garages to educate the customers the fact that any diagnostics, it's no longer just a plug-in or a code read or something along those lines. Any diagnostic should be starting with a vehicle assessment at first, in the first instance. So you get a broad overview of what's going on with the vehicle, any relevant bulletins and things like that. And of course, it's time. And the person that's doing the diagnostics normally is one of the higher skilled people within the workshop, and their time is extremely valuable. If we start talking about code reads and code scans and things like that, it immediately devalues what we're doing as a trained professional technician. Whereas if we talk about a vehicle assessment and let's see what's going on, let's keep in that logical evidence-based process, obviously it's chargeable, and it's sometimes more skilled than the mechanical operations that you would do in a workshop. And I think it's very important to get that over to the customer and to actually add some value to their business, rather than doing a cheap code read to get something in to fit some parts. No, as a professional workshop, the value in our assessment is we'll get a right first time fix, we'll use proper equipment, proper information systems, and of course then that has a value. So it's all I do all day every day is diagnostics, and it's a profitable, enjoyable and challenging business, I think.
And finally, what would be one top tip to take away when it comes to diagnosing vehicles today?
Well, for me, the most important thing is following on from the technical topics, for right process. So we're testing the right thing in the right way at the right time with the right tool, and to stay in big picture mode or wide angle lens mode as long as possible, so we can. If we think about it, where a lot of technicians fall down in their diagnostic process is they're jumping in way too quickly at pinpoint tests. So let's stay in big picture mode. Let's see if the components or the modules that are complaining have anything in common, or are there any common denominators. Let's keep within the evidence-based process and just stay in big picture. And that way then we do the least amount of testing. We're keeping our tools in our box, and like I say, 85% thinking, 15% doing. Wide angle lens, that's the best advice I can give you. And if you've not got one, get a whiteboard next to your diag bench.
So remember, diagnostics is an essential part of the aftermarket today, and there are many ways in which you can get involved in it. The key thing to remember is don't be worried about highlighting the work that goes in when using diagnostic equipment, and being very thorough to ensure that every car comes into your garage, gets out on the road with no further issues.